ALI RENIE Show. Look at us. We're all themed and stuff. And we're all like festive. Isn't it great? Yay! Okay.
We are.
Hello.
And we're twinsies.
We are. We have the heart neck thingy. Yay! It's back.
It's back.
Ellie is the dark elf, and I'm the slightly less dark one.
Ooh, I get to be a drow? Nice.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Drows are cool. They're really powerful, actually. I should build a drow someday. You guys are roasted nuts? So many puns I can make on that. Nope, we don't have roasted nuts.
You know that's why he asked you that.
I didn't!
One says yellow elf.
Yellow elf, how dare you? How dare you? Vaughn, you're more yellow than me.
A yelf. You're a yelf on a shelf.
I'm a yelf, yes. Billy Paramax, hello. Maromi, hello. Merry Christmas.
Maromi.
Chat too. Hello, Romy. Comic book, hello. Let's freaking go. Hi, Daniel. What's up? Alex VRB, our most powerful mod. Thank you for being here, of course. Are they still in makeup on wardrobe? Yeah, it's mostly me, but women aren't on time for things. You guys all know that.
I've been ready for hours because I had to film like a video before this, so
I haven't been ready. I've been doing other shit and tired all day. Dungeon of Missy, hi everybody, hello. Martin Mules, Bobby, what's up? Mr. Persephis. I think I saw new member, Gary G. Thank you for joining the channel. You're the best. Thank you so much. We're in the Steadfast. Hello. Thank you everyone for being here. So today we are, what are we doing? We're gonna do a more casual show. We've got our booze. I have my skull mug. My skull mug is back, and today it's filled with eggnog with a little extra rum. That's what I'll be drinking today. So we're going to be doing a little more of a chill show with the boozes. And
yeah, I don't like eggnog. So I have Harder Lemonade, which is 8%, which is guaranteed. I'm not even going to be able to finish this, but I'll probably be a little messed up. But I promised that I would. Actually, I promised I would on Rainie's birthday, but she was weird and was like, I'm going to have my birthday stream during the day. And so I didn't drink because I don't day drink.
No, I was in Taiwan, so it was your daytime, but I was, yeah, it's how the planet works, but, it is all my fault. You're right. So we're talking about the Twitter thread. I guess let's just jump into it. First of all, cheers, everybody. Oh, yay, cheers.
I have a like a horn cup.
Oh,
but it feels weird to pour stuff into my horn cup, and then drink it. So
I have a horn cup too. Of course I do. Of course we both have horn cups. I have one that's right over there, but I never use it because I'm worried about being able to clean it. So it's just on display.
Yeah, mine just sits over there, and I'm next to my honey.
It's
next to my honey and my soy sauce.
Oh. Yeah, mine's on my bookshelf above a bunch of comics.
That's where mine are, on my bookshelf next to my honey and my soy sauce.
Wait, you have your soy sauce in your room next to on your bookshelf?
Yeah, because it's like the good shit, and I don't want anyone else to eat it.
Oh, smart. That makes sense.
Do you remember I sent you a picture of it, and I was like, look what I got, and then you didn't answer?
I do remember. I saw it, but I didn't answer. I'm the worst.
It's okay.
I'm the worst. As long as you remember. I shall be shamed. I shall be shamed.
I don't know, as long as you remember. Allie's more Asian than Rainie's soy sauce at hand at all times. I got it for my birthday. To be fair, I have like way more honey. Well, yeah. So
you win on Asian points today.
great.
So, we have a thread.
Basically, we kind of couldn't decide what to officially do, so I kind of hurried up and made this little thread. Where did it go? Oh, sure. Now it's just gone, right? Hold on.
Wait, maybe I can find it because you sent it to me. Where is it?
No. Hold on. I don't want to click around on my Twitter if I don't know exactly where stuff is.
I have it. I can PM it to you.
I'm a dumbass. No, I found it.
Okay,
there it is. I will share it. I don't know what I did, but I did a thing and it was wrong.
Okay, so we're talking about difficulties in world building.
There it is. Yes, because that's the theme of the show overall. We got 20 comments so far. I figured we'd get through however many we could before we started getting sloppy.
Sounds good. Let me retweet this. Let's see if we can get some more comments. There we go. All right.
I feel like a good bit of the answers are going to be about the same, but I think it'll be fun anyway. And we like talking to you guys, so.
Yeah, it's just going to be a chill show where we mostly bounce off the chat. Like Ellie said, we're just too lazy to come up with an actual theme for today, so we're just going to read Twitter and talk to you guys. Thanks!
I never said that we were lazy.
I'm lazy. I don't want to do it this week.
No, because I was like, oh, we'll do a Christmas themed one. So I was trying to see if there's anything Christmassy that Rainey knew about, and there's pretty much nothing. So
that's true. Let's see. The Christmas movies I've seen are Die Hard, and I've seen Klaus, like that animated Klaus movie, which is really good. And
my question is like, how do you not see The Grinch?
I grew up in Taiwan.
I know, but it's like your dad is American.
My dad didn't share his cultural stuff with me at all.
Well, he should have shown you The Grinch, and you can tell him I said that. So.
Yeah, I often do wish he did share, because you would think that him being American, he would want to share stuff with me, but he didn't. So it's really weird. And both my parents were weirdos who didn't watch movies. We had a TV, but it wasn't hooked up, to cable. It was just a bunch of VHS tapes. And we had nothing but some Disney and a lot of Miyazaki movies. And I read books. So that was my childhood, which is not bad, but this is why I don't know any movies.
Well, I mean, I didn't have TV either, but I had the, ability to hang out with other people who were around. So.
Oh, I didn't have friends, so that's the problem.
I meant family, but sure.
Oh. Yeah. I think my other family was all so Taiwanese. We would watch Taiwanese stuff, all those
what are Taiwan Christmas things?
We don't do Christmas. Hardly anybody is Christian in Taiwan.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a small minority of Christians, but it's a small minority. Most people are Buddhist or follow folk religion. So the big thing in Taiwan and most of Asia, in the Sinosphere, like China, Singapore, Taiwan, is Chinese New Year's, which is, we follow the lunar calendar for that. So it depends on every year. It's seasonal. So it's usually end of February or end of January or early February, but it's a lunar, farmer's calendar date. And you get it's like Thanksgiving and Christmas combined. It's everything is shut down for 2 weeks. Everybody travels home, and there's specific things that you have to do every day, and different houses that you visit and all this stuff, all kinds of traditions, and you eat a shit ton of food and get fat. So that's great. And I'm frustrated that now I live in the West and I don't get to do that because nobody else here does that. So I don't know.
I mean, you could always go to one of those cities that has a big Chinatown.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Atlanta doesn't have that. I can fly to New York. And just be like, my people.
Merry Christmas, Joseph. All right, so my question was, what difficulties do you have when it comes to world building? There's already 2 more people who asked the question. And first up, we had GeekHero_Bubba, who said, I seem to only be able to focus on one or the other at a time, trying to progress them both at the same time. And I didn't know what he was talking about, so I had to ask. He said, when I'm world building, I have a habit of rambling on about the history or the terrain. When I'm character building, I forget to play enough off the world I've built. So it kind of sounds like he knows what he is doing wrong and doesn't really have a question.
Hold on, I actually have trouble seeing the screen because it's tiny.
And thank you, Alex Verb.
Muchas gracias, Alex. I can't see it. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, seems like he has all the answers.
Yeah.
Oh, Bond's already drunk. Stop being such a drunk.
Wolfsbane said, making sure characters have a real purpose. It's one thing to write them how I'd like, but making sure they fit within the world is another task in itself.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yep.
So basically, if you consider how each of your characters have unique traits and a background and their own personal journey, then you can contribute that to your overall narrative. That way they can undergo like the growth and transformation that they need to throughout the story. Just like in real life, they'll kind of be forced to evolve. And from there you can, like, obviously connect all their individual arcs to, the central narrative. And that reinforces their relevance.
That's true. I would say, I mean, just like who was it? GeekHero_Bubba said, trying to focus on one or the other, but also building your character so they tie into the world. I think the best fantasy stories with the best world building, it's not, because like world building, it's a lot of work, but it's honestly easy in a way, because you make up a bunch of stuff, you make sure it fits together. It just takes a lot of time and patience, and it's all logic. And, crazy people like us find it fun. But world building is not a story. A story is having characters navigate that world for a purpose, and having a believable and compelling purpose. And then in a really good story, you present that purpose, that journey, in a compelling way that entertains the audience. So I think that's a step that a lot of people that are natural world builders that step into being a writer, and myself included, struggle with at first, which is you can build a world, but that doesn't mean it's automatically a great work, or it's going to be a good book. The character's purpose needs to match what you build the world around, and the best stories I find have both the characters and the world thematically resonate, and they're both built for the same core ideas, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of some examples, but I can't really. And I'm trying to not bring up like all the ones that I always talk about, like Lord of the Rings and Berserk. But
but Lord of the Rings is such a good example. I mean,
it really is.
They have one goal, and they come together from their different, walks of life to accomplish that goal.
Yeah. And the world facilitates that theme of different people coming together for the goal of defeating an unquestionable evil.
Yeah.
There's nothing muddy about it. Everything builds up to that, right?
And they're all interdependent of each other. So it's not like it's a bunch of characters, kind of bouncing around. They all have dynamic relationships that enhance the story's emotional depth. Because if you have grounded all of the characters and aligned their roles with authenticity, and then like kind of pushed it together with the story's core theme, then you can make sure that they contribute meaningfully to your whole story.
True. Makes sense. And for example, I'm going to bring up Berserk again, but of course I am. Berserk feels like a cohesive story, even though the world building is actually quite soft if you look at the details. It all works because the story itself is about revenge, but also lost revenge and sort of the darkness of humanity, what humans will do in their lowest points. I would say that's generally large theme in the work, and the world facilitates that point being made over and over again, as well as the character. The world influences what happens to both Griffith and Guts because it's a harsh, dark world, and they in turn influence the world as well, and it's completely cohesive. So I think that's when works that have a feel to it, like something just feels like Star Wars, or something feels like Berserk, or feels like Lord of the Rings. I think that's a key element to creating that.
Yeah. Bobby says, Alex tells me there's a lot of grape in that book.
Yeah. There is. Have fun reading it.
Yang said, knowing when to cut myself off. I spent 6 months researching solar mechanics for a flat Earth. I didn't need to go that far.
Yeah. Sometimes we get a little carried away. Hey, Camelot, what's up? Yo.
It's definitely crucial to know when to not get like bogged down in all those unnecessary details. And a lot of that comes from you start researching stuff and you're just like, oh, that's cool. I want to know more about that. And then you're just like, you're 20 steps away from where you started and you know all this cool stuff that you absolutely don't even need, because what you really need is the things that directly impact your plot and characters. And that comes obviously after developing your rules, which we've talked about. So you'll have to start thinking about whether even additional world building will fit the narrative at all, or if it risks overwhelming the story. But first you have to stop researching. And I know it's hard because you're like, oh, I want this to feel real. But I mean, it will. Don't worry. As long as all of... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as long as all the details contribute to your character and plot and theme, then they'll be worthwhile, and just, pepper it in. I like to say, just pepper it in. Don't need a lot of pepper. Lemon pepper.
Yeah, I think... because maybe it's just for me, but like building the world for Fiendish was such a complete chaotic experience. There is no handbook because everybody's different and the world you'll build is different and everyone's process is different. It's like, well, I built a language for Fiendish. How do you start? You start making up words and just like drawing symbols until you like how they look, and then that's the alphabet and shit. That's really it. But it just takes time because it's an ongoing iteration. You can make up more words and shit like a crazy person. But also, I think that it's okay to go a little overboard, because I have gone down that rabbit hole of spending way too much time researching stuff, like getting really into medieval technology or all kinds of ancient cultures in our own world, and I've done a ton of research on that, thinking I might be able to use it for Fiendish, and a lot of stuff didn't end up being used. But the thing is, the fact that I still did that research, I think, even if it's not used directly, it informs my knowledge about how a world works, and it might come back at some point. So I think it's still good to over-research, because the more informed you are, the more natural of a creator you'll be. Essentially, you have a greater pool of wisdom to draw from when there's a hole missing from your world building. You need something to plug it, essentially. Then you already have all this information in your head. But what you need to control as a creator is not putting all of it into the book. You can have all this knowledge, but you don't need to present it all the time in your book. Like, I don't need to spend pages and pages explaining exactly how people build their sleds or sew their shoes in the world of Fiendish. It's not important.
Or what they're wearing.
Right, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I love drawing clothes, I really do, but I don't need to go and explain all that, like, ooh, this is this type of armor. Like, I had like one scene where a character went to get a weapon or something, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna have less of those scenes, because it's not, if it's not pivotal to the story. And like I like, sometimes I like having some scenes like that where characters are just relaxing, or they're, you know, they go out and buy a weapon, or they use a magical item and they're talking about it. And I try to make sure that if I put a scene like that in, it's relevant to the story. Like, this is something that'll be reoccurring. It's actually important. But if it's just something in the background, why is it there? You don't need to know that. I feel like I'm just indulging in myself instead of thinking of what will entertain the audience. That's the wrong way to approach writing.
Well, the reason that I say, like, don't get too caught up in research is because if you get too caught up in research, you'll find that you wasted a bunch of time that could have been spent on actually writing. So that's a problem. Somebody asked a question a second ago. Daniel.
I like to pretend I have all the time in the world, even though I don't. So I probably shouldn't do that.
Daniel said, do you find when writing the story, writing the origin story of the characters and historical figures first? Because I see me doing that. If you do, is it worth it? I don't do that at all. In any way.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that, because you see, the writers that are held up as the greats of world building are writers like George R. Martin and J.R. Tolkien and all that, and they write all these long histories of all these historical figures and the lines of kings, and I have zero interest in that, and I don't want to force myself to write that just because that's what you're supposed to do. But I think your world can work without that. In A Song of Ice and Fire and Lord of the Rings, those stories and those lineages were covered because it mattered to the story as well. A lot of the story in both works were related to royalty and kingdoms, but that's not what I'm writing about. So if you're not concerned with that, if that's not what you're writing about, or it doesn't directly tie into the plot, then why make it up?
Yeah, and Agent Warlock had a good point. He said research can create info paralysis. That's a good word for it.
That's true. It can distract you from focus. The books. George R. has single-handedly convinced me to not read them, or I have single-handedly convinced him not to read. Yep. I mean, he's a good writer. It's just he has many flaws as well.
Well, okay. If you want to read George R. Martin, and me personally, having not read A Song of Ice and Fire, I read The Hedge Knight, and that was super good. So I would say read that. If you want to, because it's a novella, so it's not a huge time investment, and it was actually super good and interesting, and I did feel like I understood the world more, but that was all I needed. Like, I still have no interest in reading the rest, but I really liked that one. That was good.
Yeah, I agree with that. What Martin is good at, he's a good writer, he's great at characters and putting all these like links and mysteries and hints together. He's a really good writer. The problem he has is, first of all, I actually don't think he's a good world builder, even though he's kind of held up there as one. I find his world building very derivative, but he needs constraints. So when he's writing novellas like Hedge Knight or all of his previous works before Song of Ice and Fire were shorter novels, it's great. So I would say read everything except The Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, and it's a good idea for any writer to practice constraining yourself. The way that I do that is I have a writing exercise where I limit myself to a single sheet of paper. And I say I will tell a complete story. And this is called flash fiction, but I didn't know that until recently. But I say I'm going to tell a complete story on just this one piece of paper. And that helps a lot in learning how to place constraints on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, David Mamet said if it doesn't advance the plot, get it out of it. I don't know who that is, but that's a great point. I remember the only thing that I actually learned that was useful from like writing class, because we had one writing class in school. Even though I went to school for comics, but they had one undergraduate writing class. They should have had more, and I didn't really learn shit, and it was very frustrating. But the only thing I learned was we read like a bunch of script writing books by Robert McKee and Sid Fields and screenwriting books, but it was all screenwriting, and a lot of it was like format, blah blah. It was all for film, which is useful, but that's not what I need to know. There's all these things like oh, they teach you the technical terms and what motif means, and it gets you really hung up on this is the right way to do things, but that's honestly I don't think that's important. Anyways, I'm getting carried away. The one thing I learned was story is king. Like everything is about story, so you can spend a lot of time building the world. You can do a lot of cool designs, and that'll help sell the work, but it needs to tie into the story. And if something doesn't actually advance the story, why is it there? And the way I like to think about it, because I draw my own book right now, is I just don't want to spend that much time drawing, because I love drawing, but it takes a lot of time. And if I'm going to waste my time drawing a page that doesn't need to be there, why is that page there? So that really motivates me to be as concise as possible. And everyone can figure everyone else can figure out their own way of motivating themselves for that. But I think if you're a writer and you're paying an artist, make sure every page counts, because you're paying them and they're putting all this time in to make good art. You want every page to count. So
yeah. And Agent Warlock has a good point too. He still feels the best way to learn writing is just to read a wide range of genres. Yeah, or even just read stuff you like and read stuff that you don't like. Because you can learn, oh, okay, I don't want it to be this, but I do want it to be this. Like that's honestly one of the best ways to learn, is to just read. But yeah, from what you were saying, if you are finding that your world building is distracting from your core narrative, then you are going to have to go and stop and figure out how to prioritize the story, just like you said. And a lot of it is going to be instincts, but also get feedback from readers, people that you trust, because they'll be able to tell you, I really didn't appreciate that you went on and on and on about like their shoe or whatever. That's a thing that even a lot of classics have an issue with, in my opinion. So, for example, Dracula is one of the most boring books that I've ever read in my entire fucking life, which was super disappointing for me, because I spent my whole life, having this book, built up, and it's got this huge, ever expanding world and stuff. And when I finally read it, when I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 17 when I finally actually sat down and read it. It was so disappointing because it's wicked boring. And a lot of it is because he just goes on and on about like stuff that is totally pointless and meaningless. And a lot of it is like, oh, I'm describing the Transylvanian countryside, like, and it's just boring the way he does it. And it's written in a series of letters too, so it's always just like, oh, dearest, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, ugh, stop. No one writes letters like this. It's crazy. It's wicked boring. But if you juxtapose that with Frankenstein, that has a lot of similar things. It has a lot of descriptions of the land that he's around, like his landscapes, but it doesn't go into how he actually creates his monster almost at all. Like there's very little descriptions of it at all. It's like, oh, I created this this formula utilizing chemistry, and I had to go find you know, all these crazy beakers and stuff and set everything up. It doesn't even say anything about electricity specifically, and that was quite fascinating. But it's similar because mainly there's a lot of descriptions about the countryside and the mountains, and you know, he's going out on a boat to be alone and looking at the world around him and describing like the sunset and calm. And the reason it works in Frankenstein and doesn't work in Dracula, in my opinion, because it's beautiful and poetic in Frankenstein and boring as hell in Dracula, is because of the emotional impact that all of the descriptions take in Frankenstein versus there in Dracula. It's just like, as I was writing, I noticed all of the craggy peaks and the little scruffy bushes. Whereas in Frankenstein, he's like, the weight of the world crushed against me, but the lake surrounding me made me feel more at peace. Like it was more character driven than it was descriptive. So I think that is a good way to integrate world building, is to make it closer to your character. Because you're not out when you go for a car ride or a horseback ride or even a walk, you're not just like, oh, look, a yellow flower. You're like, oh, I see a yellow flower, and yellow's my favorite color. What a great day for me to see yellow. Like, that might just be me, but you get my point.
Yeah, I think your point about following the character is really helpful. I think that might be the next step after focusing on story and reminding yourself as a world builder that story comes first. I have another example that I don't bring up enough is in Lock and Key. It's never described how these magical keys are made. All you know is there's the key house and a bunch of keys, and they were forged by the ancestors of the Locke family, but the process isn't there. And it doesn't matter because all that matters is these magical keys exist. They're fucking with everyone. They have all these effects, and what Joe Hill gets into describing is, well, it's very clear like what exactly each key can do, but that's important because the characters actively use the keys and develop through all these magical powers, so to say, and that's relevant to their emotional arcs. So that's a great point. I think if it doesn't affect the character's trajectory, it's probably another thing you can think about leaving out, right? If it doesn't affect the plot or it doesn't tie into the character, what I try to do, and I realize it's not possible, but for both Fiendish 1 and 2, I try to write each book from like one character's point of view. So majority, Fiendish 1 was mostly Casimir's point of view, Fiendish 2 was mostly Yomi's point of view, and the second half was more Easkell, but I try to think about this section of stories from one person's point of view. It doesn't always work. I'm kind of letting go of that a little more just because like so many different viewpoints and I just need to like get things across. But in general, it's still the point of view is my core character. So what would they know? What would matter to them? And if you kind of view them as the vehicle that are taking the reader through the world, it helps you focus more.
Yep. Michael said, interesting. Are you saying world building as a function of how the character is experiencing the world as opposed to a neutral description of the world? That's exactly what I'm saying. Because that's going to add to the story very specifically. And if you're like, story is king, your characters are in your story and they're interweaved together. It's not possible to separate them. It's not like real life where, you know, nobody is the main character nobody's a side character. We're all just here. You know, you've built a web, basically. A magic web.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm feeling I'm feeling it now because I'm talking in ridiculous stuff.
You're feeling alchazum?
Yeah, I might be.
I need to. Sorry, I've been working on this eggnog. It hasn't had an effect. This might not be good. This might be a problem. Shit. Okay.
I think you have a problem, Renie.
Well, at least I'm recognizing it. That's the.
I have a theory that like you just don't even actually really drink anything, because when we were in Tampa, I swear I thought you had drank some of the crazy tea too, but it turned out that you hadn't, and you just let Jake and I get high.
No, that was. I told you guys kava was like a relaxant, and then I didn't say I was getting it. You guys both got a shit ton of kava. I never promised to get high with you guys. Anyways.
We didn't even know what it was.
You guys were like both zoning out. I didn't. I was trying to help you. You guys both needed to relax. So it's okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, hold on. Billy has been trying to get you to witness him for like 30 minutes. So if you can do that. Billy Vasco. Billy Vasco.
Oh, gesundheit.
Billy, I guess that's all you're gonna get. Agent Warlock said Conan's setting was pretty sparse with world building, but gave you enough to understand whatever story you're reading. Yeah, from what I've read of the comics, that's true. And I finally got the book, so I'm going to start on the books, and I'm looking forward to that. That's definitely that makes sense. It's a generalized fantasy setting. It's kind of like the ancient world of like prehistory or near prehistory of our own world, but a little fantasized, a little different. And that's kind of all you need to know, because I think on a certain level you don't know what to expect. And what helps Conan is it's very episodic. It's not, there isn't always one singular goal. It's not always long form. It's a series of short adventures. So
sorry, go on.
Oh no, all I was gonna say was like Conan is a character that's so prominent. He has such character that the story can be defined by him, not the world, almost, right? So maybe a work that has very the world building is more of a character, that would be more different. But in Conan, I think the character carries the story more than the world. Does that make sense? You want to talk about that?
What?
Like whether it's a different point. Sorry, let's say what you were going to say first, and I'll come back to this.
Oh, I hadn't read any Conan until Frega and Hockey and I read it. Like, we read one of the comics like live on my channel, because he does a really good Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. and you're definitely right about that, just from the one that I read. And the cool thing was, even just as the short comic progressed, you only, like, the reader only finds out what's going on as Conan finds out what's going on. And that was nice.
Yeah, I think that's concise though, right? That means Howard was writing from the point of view of his character, and that's what we establish as good writing. And I wouldn't say the world of Conan has no character. It's not.
His character is very simple. He's just, the core of what a man is.
Yeah,
that's Conan.
Yeah, big manly barbarian guy goes on adventures, and there's a lot of room to play with that.
It's okay to have a simple character. It's totally okay to have a simple character.
That's true.
You just have to make them engaging.
Yeah. What I was wondering though, maybe I'm wrong and I don't actually have a point here, but I was thinking, so contrasting a world like Howard's world building for Conan to something like Harry Potter, where I would say the world of Harry Potter itself has a certain character, a little bit more so than the world of Conan, where Harry Potter himself is not like a stunning character. It's more the world and the surroundings that carry you through the story. Harry's kind of a basic bitch character, but not in sort of like this very prominent plot driving way like Conan. You know what I mean? So is it the world that's pulling the story more, or the character themselves that pulling the story? I think they're both techniques work, but you might have to figure out which direction you want to go in.
Yeah, and I think if you're writing for young adult or child, it is actually better to do a point of view character, because children are experiencing things very much the same as their character, so it'll be easier for them to insert themselves into that mind. As they get older, I think it's a lot easier to write from third person. But I think that's part of why a lot of YA and middle grade stuff is written from first person. And and on a related note, I think that's why a lot of romance novels, and the naughty books, I think the really successful ones, those are written from first person view, because the people reading them have simple minds, to say the least.
I have a similar opinion, but I try to not say it because I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, well. Oh, Wolfler gave you $5.
Oh, thank you. I shall get to that. There's some really good chats. I do want to read them, even though they're not super chats. They're even if all the world is an illusion, I'm no less an illusion. I live, I love, I slay, I'm content. That is the most Conan thing ever, and that is Conan. That's great. That's great. And Comic Book has a great point. This is why you guys are here. This is why I love chat, because you guys just sum up my blabbering in like two sentences, and it's wonderful. Conan happens to his environment. Harry's environment happens to him. Exactly. That is a great way of summarizing up. And age and maturity level of your readers could influence which approach you want to take. Great summation. Let me get to Will Flirt for $5. Thank you so much. What do you call a warlock that can't do magic? A warlock smith. Sorry, I'm sort of what you might call a comedian.
I love it. Alex Verb down there is trying to do a jibe at me. He said Ali has a Victorian porn book that's very dear to her. Well, the difference between modern porn and Victorian porn is that the Victorian book is actually written almost exclusively from the point of view of the man in the story. So I think that Victorian porn was more for men, and modern porn is more for women. Like when it comes to books, like true books.
That makes sense, because Victorian view was, I mean, how
many women could even read?
Well, Victorian women could read, and unless you were like lower class, but then nobody could read. No, Victorian women had governesses and stuff. But like the view during Victorian times was probably that men are more sexual, so it's like probably looked down upon for women to consume that stuff. I would think. I don't actually know, but that's my assumption. Also, men are more visual and women are more focused on emotional storytelling. So nowadays, the people that are addicted to like video porn are mostly men, but women consume literary porn. So there's a difference. We're different. Did you know? Shocking.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, Yang also said deciding how much to reveal and when. That is delicate. That's a delicate balance, because you want to maintain suspense and also maintain engagement. So I would say you would basically just start by only including information that's essential for the reader to understand, like what's going on immediately, without being too contextual. And then you just allow them to become invested in your narrative. and then you just introduce additional details gradually. And by the way to do that is you kind of line everything up, and every revelation with key plot points or like important character developments. But then also, on the other hand, withholding information can be a good way to keep up like curiosity. So I guess what I'm saying is reveal your details strategically. To maintain your tension, maintain your interest, and contribute like meaningfully overall instead of overwhelmingly. And a good way to learn how to not do that is think of any modern movie where like the first thing they do is completely assault you with excessive exposition, where it's like, oh, good morning, honey. Today is your first day of work at your new job after being fired from your old job. Don't you remember? And they're like, yes, I do remember. And our child is starting school. Like,
oh my God.
Everyone knows that that's bad. You can feel that it's bad. So just do the opposite of that. And an easy way that most people say is show, don't tell. So, you're basically gauging the audience's engagement, adjusting your approach accordingly, and prioritizing coherence and sense of discovery.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, I think what sums up show, don't tell, or what might help some people get to that point is trusting your audience. And that's something I think has helped me because the audience is intelligent, or at least I think you should be aiming for an intelligent audience. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, I guess some people, there's a lot of light novels out there, a lot of cheap entertainment, but it's not what both you or I are doing here. So it's like, and a lot of my audience is smarter than me. So the stuff I put out there, they figure it out. They can read between the lines. So you don't have to hold their hand and explain absolutely everything. And I would rather under-explain, frankly, and then show my layouts and my writing drafts to my editor, and then get people to review it, not just editors, proofreaders, and have them tell me, I didn't understand this, you need to explain this more. I'd rather have that work that way than have things over-explained and have to do extra work that's just dragging the story down.
And Down Goes Solo just sent you a super chat.
Oh my God!
Look at that right now.
Holy shit! Oh my God! Thank you so much. Down Goes Solo for $100. Holy shit! I wish I had like a clip or something. I don't have I have a celebration thing, but it's loud. Should I play the cat clip? I'll play the cat clip. All right, here we go. Alright, that's like the only celebration video. Anyways, thank you so much, Travis. Sorry if I've been a little extra retarded lately. It's been a rough couple of weeks. You haven't been. I don't know what you're talking about. Feeling good today, though, and feel like spreading it around. Past my final, got a mountain of new pages, and overall feeling decent about my project. See that double pager I sent? No, I haven't seen it, but I will definitely check it out. Everyone check out Wrecked. That is currently in signups on Indiegogo. That is Down Goes Solo Travis's upcoming fantasy project. He's also doing a dark fantasy story that features a spearwoman, elfie spearwoman as the main character, and the art looks great, and I'm going to be doing a cover for it. I also did the character design, so check it out, everybody. Go sign up for Rect, and thank you again for the super chat.
That cat video reminded me of, like, in Final Fantasy VIII when you, like, summon a GF and, like, it's a really, really long cut scene where the GF is, like, blowing things up and stuff. That was weird.
I have no idea. I don't know. Just saying us what you don't want me to sing. Trust me, it's a bad idea.
Solo did ask us, do we both tackle our writing the same way? Not at all.
No.
No.
How shall we explain this? So what is your process, Ali?
I write and it's what needs to be written. And I remember everything, and I put it on all these little cards in a pile. And some of them are tacked up on my wall.
Oh, I forgot! You told me your process, and I felt like I was about to have an aneurysm, so I just wiped it from my mind, and now you just reminded me. So that's great. She writes note cards and just like puzzles them together.
Yeah, but they're not even like complete. Like, it's just little things to remember occasionally.
My
I
lord.
don't do anything. And then Renie's got like files upon files of immaculately researched, like, and organized freaking story notes and character beats and all sorts of other stuff that I don't even know what she's talking about.
Okay.
So
I
no.
like how people, yeah, it's like, I swear my thing is, I have friends that are very, very like structure focused. Like, you need to know exactly where your arc 2 like ending point is, and this is like, you need to put into words your themes and every character's want, and these need to be in text and it has to be written out. And I'm like, yeah, to an extent I do think that stuff helps, but honestly there's also a certain part of my process where I just, to me, if it feels right, then it works, right? It's very much, so, I'm like 50-50 on it.
So if you want to see, that is where I do all of my world building.
Right, so Ellie is pure chaos, and I'm neutral, and there are other writers that are, honestly, most writers are probably pure chaos, but so there's very few structured writers out there.
This thing just has like a bunch of note cards in it that I don't have on the board right now.
Jesus Christ.
And then there's my map. My map is tacked up all awkward and sideways. And like
wait, I need a full screen here so you guys can see this like board, this bulletin board of craziness, of brilliance, and I don't know how you work with that. Oh my god! I would just,
the cards are under there.
What
that one has the chapters written down in a row and the words.
Oh hey,
and I can just move them. And then these. I started writing on Post-it notes too because I lost my cards. So
I like how Ellie's just like, here's my writing notes.
and like there's the map. It's sideways because I took it down. And way up there, where is it? This green card right here that I'm like fingering. That one is the first chapter, and I have that one on there so that I can maintain consistency.
Oh my god.
And those are the keys to my scooter.
Yeah.
And that's a lemon that says I am a creature of the night.
You have a lemon?
Yeah. It's not a real lemon.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I write.
Okay, let me see. The way I write is
Novisky said her board looks like something Mulder would have on the X-Files.
I mean, I honestly just think I don't think our process is that different. It's just I work
You're
more
a psycho.
digitally. I mean, yes, but you know, not completely.
No. So Renie did manage to convince me to make one chart. I have made one character chart, and and she was impressed by it because it was so simple and stuff. Alex says these women are totally sane, guys.
Oh wait, I'm trying to pull up my folder of writing stuff so you guys can see. And honestly, I don't think it's like that different. I just work.
It's totally different. It's literally the exact opposite of me. Stop pretending that you have any amount of chaos in your life whatsoever.
I do. I swear to God, I do. But it might also be,
and not in your writing.
No, I swear I do. I know it's you don't think so, but I have friends that are like 10 times worse. Where are
freaking Asians,
files?
man?
It probably is an Asian thing. I can't help it. Here, I mean, it's not like you guys can. I don't want to share screen because then I, probably show something I don't want to show about the story. But I have like just folders and files of stuff. I have a script file that's super long, and I've done like 10 iterations of it. So going way back to like 2018, where the story is completely different. I just have like iteration upon iteration of it. And the script is more like a prose summary. It's not really a script. Everything is broken down into scenes because my story is very location based. So I made it so the file is all collapsible, and then collapse everything into, so I see like this is the first arc, this book, and then these are locations, and then this book and these are locations, and I know these two books are like this arc and all that stuff. So I do have it all broken down. Then I have another file for character arcs, and I have another file where I actually statted out all my characters. You know what, Ali, you might have a point. I statted out all my characters in both Pathfinder and MBTI, so I have like all their personality types and their stats, and if I was to stat them out in tabletop gaming. And then I also, of course, have my dictionary because I built a language. I have a note file, which is probably the most chaotic thing in this giant mess because it is just thoughts. I'll just jot down like random thoughts about, oh, I should add this in this scene. Like, for example, maybe I could have a visual motif when I'm drawing this or that in book 3 and all that shit. So I just like fart out ideas onto the note file. So see, there's a little bit of chaos. But other than that, I have the Pantheon file. I have just like, I need to be organized though.
The only thing that Renie has managed to get me to do to appear organized whatsoever, I have shared it, and this is it. That's all anyone's getting is this thing, which is my character's core beliefs, and I worked really hard on it. And she was just like, oh, that's really good. I can't do that with my characters. My characters are awesome.
What?
And I was like, I was trying to get their core beliefs.
No, that's great. I think I go too much into the details.
What the heck?
What happened?
Hold on. Oh. So these ones have nothing to do with it. I just forgot to cut it off. But yeah, anyway, these are my character's core beliefs, and I lined it up with their like power levels and everything. And that's as much as anyone is getting as far as planning or charts or whatever.
Oh my god. Okay, let me try to find that MBTI chart. I mean, I know people that have been watching my channel for a long time have seen that, but where the fuck is that chart? Structure, reference, blah, 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 character arcs, character profiles. Oh, character stats. There we go. Pure craziness. Okay, can I show something? I can show this. It's not too spoilery. Yeah. Also, a lot of this stuff has changed, so it's not, it's not like it'll be like the end of the world. But
she's shared with me like her entire file system. It's insane. Whoa.
Okay,
My
I'm
light
gonna
turned
black.
off. What the fuck?
I'm gonna black out one column so it's not spoilery. Sorry for the stalling, guys. Since we're talking about our whole process, I must show this because it just simply must happen. So there you go. Here, this is my So I'm an INTJ, in case that's not obvious if you know MBTI. This is what.
Hold on. I have to fix my light. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. I'll just nerd out about Pathfinder stats. So here is my chart of insanity, and I don't want to scroll down too much, but because the first few characters are not spoilery, but as you can see, I have descriptors, I have their gaming stats, and I don't really actually know how much this helped me because I think it helped me get to the point where, so characterization is something that I struggle with the most as a writer, because I come from being more of a world builder and being able to narrow down who is this character, how would they naturally react to things. So this getting to that point where I can just put my characters in a situation and know exactly this is what Casimir would say, this is how Ragnar would react, and this is like the range of behavior. And always knowing that was really hard for me. I think I'm better at it now, but I've been working on Fiendish for like 6 years or something at this point. When I was first starting out, because I come from a gaming and world building environment, it was really hard to get to that point. So what I did was I statted out all my characters using Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons stats and did all this MBTI stuff, which in case you guys didn't know, it's this like semi-scientific personality test kind of thing. It's based on some Jungian psychology. I think it's fun. I don't take it as gospel, but it's useful, I think, for starting out building characters. That's why I use it. So I have all that stuff. I wrote down descriptors for the characters, and a lot of the stuff has changed. So it's not, don't worry, it's not that spoilery because a lot of this stuff has changed. I haven't updated this sheet in a long time because I got to the point where I felt like I could just write the characters without using it. But there you go. Because it has an 8 in charisma. This is like Johnny Leno. Is his charisma 8? Oh yeah, his charisma is 8. He has shit charisma, guys. I mean, it's pretty obvious though. Why do some characters have multiple point buy values? Because they level up and their point buy goes up. Remember, every 4 levels you add a number to a stat, so it's partially that. But some of this has changed, but most of it is leveling up, because the way I wrote Fiendish is about every book is a level up for the core character. So 1 level per book, and that's 8 books. So that's 8 levels over the course of the story. So you're going to have a few ability score increases. That's where that comes from. But some are different. Some are like, if you grow up, where characters like Iskall, he's a young character. If he grows up, because the story is going to take place over a few years, his stats will change. This is nerd talk, guys. Don't mind me. But Robert, do you like this? Are you a gamer as well? Shall we? Do I have a kindred spirit? I'm glad that you're enjoying this because I feel like a crazy person every time I pull it up. But anyways, here is like my character stat chart and everything, and I have their sort of like MBTI. So Casimir is ISTP, which in Myers-Briggs, or which is another name for MBTI, that's sort of a personality type that's more introverted, very tactical, very very tactile, works with their hands, and very practical. That's Casimir. And then all the different characters. You can look this stuff up. I'm not going to explore every one of these right here, but I found that it helped me at first, but I don't use it so much anymore. Yay! Do you have a favorite character we haven't seen yet? Yes. The end. Yeah, I love my antagonist, but I haven't even introduced my antagonist yet because it's a mystery, but you'll be finding out in chapter 3. And I'm super excited. It'll be like right at the end of chapter 3, but chapter 3 will be the journey to Dorvo. So all the characters are going to Dorvo, back to Casimir's hometown, and they find out some crazy stuff on the way and when they get there. And I cannot wait. I am like 60 pages into the thumbnails. The book is still not done. It's going to be a long book. I'm going to break my hand drawing this shit, but you guys are going to love it because I can't fucking wait. I'm telling you guys, it's good. Like, I am really actually confident about this, and that doesn't always happen because I have that artist thing where I feel like everything I do sucks after a week, but this is gonna be good. Okay. Was I gonna show anything else? Let me catch up with the chat while Ali is fixing her light. Let me just chat with you guys. Nerdiest stream ever. I mean, have you seen my channel? That's kind of just how my channel goes. Renie draws Geek Each Week raid. Oh, hello everyone. Hello, Ali and Renie and all from Big Island in Hawaii. Awesome. Hope everyone is well on this night before Festivus. Hope everyone is well. Thank you for joining us today. AD&D and Marvel RPG. I actually don't play that much D&D proper. I mostly play Pathfinder. We've already met Renie's antagonist, but I'm pretty sure Vaughn is passed out at the moment. Funny. He's the one with the horns, and if so, you have to make a statue of him. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, anything left of his hometown? We shall see. Slinkro says he'll be waiting. I'm glad. The end. Yeah, I'm just going to end the story and fuck with everybody. Yes, sign up for Wrecked, everybody. And also back Fiendish Chapter 2.5, because that is still live on my website, fiendishcomic.com. Hello! You fixed it, and you're back.
I fixed it, but now it's like really bright.
It's okay. I'm glad you have light. Marami said this is still a nerd light stream. Things can get deeper. They absolutely can. Yes. We have a
look at my dog.
Oh, doggo.
Look at how he's laying. He's like friggin' lounging across the whole area. Valentine, you're so retarded.
Oh,
anyway.
So cute. Robert Romano says you have to write the great epic yourself. The corporations will never deliver it. That's kind of true. And here's the thing. I don't know if I can do it. You know, I'm no Tolkien, but I just want to make something that I enjoy. What I enjoy is heavy world building, long form fantasy. And there's a certain type of story that I really am passionate about telling. And what I realized was no corporation is going to give you your dream project. That's not going to happen, even if you're working for Marvel. And that's what I decided. Marvel doesn't even give a shit about putting you on books that fit your style. All they care about is their bottom line. Sometimes not even their bottom line, especially recently. They just care about whatever looks good for their agenda. And that's just how it is. And, you know, I'm not mad. That's just how, you know, they can run their business however the fuck they want to. But I just realized it wasn't for me. Some people are happy as long as they're just drawing pages. Doesn't matter the content. For me, I need to be doing my dream project. I want to be drawing specifically a story that I care about because I don't want to waste my life. So there you go. Yeah, you have to, if you want to you can't wait for it. Anyway, I'm repeating myself, but make your dream project. No one's going to hand it to you.
Now I have to know what Maromi said down there. Where? Maromi, he posted there.
Oh. Nilfu. I don't know what that means. Cow? Something?
Cow?
What does that mean? I don't know. Nyofu.
Are you calling us cows?
He's been posting that a few times, but I didn't know what that means. Like, I recognize the characters, but I don't know that phrase.
Cow? I like how you said it. Cow?
Yeah, the first character is cow.
Okay. Interesting.
Thank you for the link, Maromi.
Shall we go back to the questions or difficulties or whatever?
Yes.
Next, we had distancing out certain locations and characters. You really don't want everyone living on top of each other, nor do you want them spread out ridiculously far to where they don't interact between different titles regularly. So, to create a sense of distance, then you, aside from, you know, having a map, you know, a sense of distance while you're writing. So you can physically separate the characters, obviously, with geographical barriers like mountains, seas, landscapes. Then you have to make travel a challenging and time-consuming endeavor. And Tolkien, again, did that really well, even though some people complain that there's too much like walking. I think he did a good job describing how the travel goes. Contrast that with the Scamazon Rings of Power, and there's like no travel time between anything that they ever do. It doesn't show them walking or anything. They're just in Rivendell, and then they're in the mines.
They just fucking arrive. Like, it's just that scene where he just teleports to the mines of Moria, and like it's just they don't even have travel clothes on. They don't have packs. They don't even have cloaks. It looks like they walked down the mountain for an hour.
It's weird.
Like, it was so bad. But I mean, again, don't get me started on the Rings of Power, but it's clearly because the writers don't have any real life experience. They probably hadn't walked a mile in their entire life because they're all fat losers. I'm sorry, I'm getting too mean, but I really hated that show. It was so bad.
So, what you can do also is you can emotionally distance your characters with conflicts and different perspectives, tension, especially tension that has no resolution, so there's no connection between them. You can use timelines, obviously, that are at different locations. That is a good bit of how Rotting Crown has the distance described, is that it's in each separate timeline, and from that timeline where the character is located. But then also, you want to emphasize the atmosphere and the challenges that every location presents to its characters. So either you're underscoring isolation or foreignness or a familiarity with a locale, and then you sort of intertwine it together. If you want it to be more simple and not Tolkien-esque, then C.S. Lewis is a good example of how to create distance as well, because his characters did a lot of traveling, but it was more in a simplistic way. Or what did I just think of? Oh no. In the Princess Bride book, there's parts where they're like, oh, she had to spend just 1 month packing all of her different hats. And then, 2 weeks later, when she arrived, she spent another month unpacking her hats before she would even see the prince. Like, that sort of thing shows distance physically and character distance. So it makes it more rich with that separation. So it doesn't have to be just physical. It can be mental as well. Emotional, I mean.
Yeah, that does make sense. I think that's not, I wouldn't say that's not something I've struggled with, but it is something to keep in mind, right? But it's more, I think it's less of a struggle if you put yourself in the world and are very thorough and commit to the story and the characters, in the sense of you, in your imagination, want to live in their heads and walk in their shoes and imagine what they would be doing, and how would it, if you draw a world map, and on the Fiendish map, I don't know if you guys can see it on the wall behind there. It's kind of dark in my room because my room is dark and black. But if you go to the website of fiendishcomic.com, there's a little box on the world map that is 1 day of travel. And I put it there because I use it when I'm writing the story. And that will vary depending on terrain. So I don't always say in the book exactly how far something is, but I try to make sure it's evident that they're traveling a certain distance. It's not, they don't just leave Alstad and then arrive in Thalfrin. Half of chapter 2 was them just traveling, but stuff's happening when they're traveling. They're having arguments because that's character development. They're encountering danger, and through encountering danger and bandits, you reveal more character. And there's all these things you can do while they're traveling to not only make this journey more believable and show that they're struggling to get to this point. It's not just you teleport and they hop on a high-speed rail. You know, it's a medieval world. Why would that happen? But you can insert things that matter to the plot. And what I heard somewhere that really has helped me was also try to do multiple things at once. So while the characters are traveling, don't have them just be traveling. Have them travel, but also fight with each other and also reveal world building all in one scene. Try to wrap all that stuff up together and try to have multiple layers of things happening all at once and reveal things about multiple characters in every fight. I don't know if I managed to do that, but that's my goal at least. And that distance marker on my map has been a great guide because this comes from gaming as well. I'm playing a lot of Pathfinder, but travel distance matters a lot. So if you'd think like a tabletop gamer, this is kind of second instinct. So you have this is how far you can travel every day. But if you're in a mountainous terrain, which my story currently is, you have that, or it's a third because it's mountainous terrain, so they would cover less of that distance. So you just take a fucking ruler, look at how far that would take, and that's how far they have to travel. And in chapter 3, so we kind of establish this is about how far Thalfrin is from Alstad and all that stuff, but I didn't want to bog the story down with too much. Oh, we're this far away, and I have a little counter. I don't want to have a little counter at the top where this is our progress on traveling to Dorvo or Malkenka or what the fuck ever. Basically, there's a map. Readers know there's a map, and it's at the back of every book. So I have some travel montages, but it's obvious. The characters' gear changes. You see them camping. I'll have panels of them camping, traveling, then camping in a different location. The landscape changes. This is what's great about a visual medium because unlike a prose book, I can just change the way I draw the landscape and be creative about that, put thought into the world building, and the reader will subconsciously know we're in a total different part of a mountain range because the landscape looks different and the character's clothes change. So if you really commit to a story and the world building and the texture of it, that adds to the reader's immersion.
Very good.
Rocky montage.
A montage.
Yeah.
And there are good ways and bad ways to do a montage. So especially in writing. And I can give you an example of a really, really bad way to do a montage. So in Twilight, there's a part where it's supposed to be emphasizing time going by. And she's depressed because Edward's not there. So, I swear to God, this is what is in the book. I swear. It's 4 pages that are totally blank, except it says winter, spring, summer, fall. And those are the chapters.
Oh, that's so lazy! Oh, it's terrible.
And to translate that into the movie, they just had her sit in a chair and they make the camera go around her, and then through the window the season changes.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's a very low effort way of going about it. That's just But
whereas
that's bad because that's only one thing happening. that time could have been used for character development while the time is going on. You could have like added more world building details while the time is passing, but no, let's be lazy.
Contrast that with Harry Potter, the third movie, which is the best of the movies. Cinematically, it's the best. And the way that they show the passage of time is using the Whomping Willow and what happens to the Whomping Willow every time there's a season change. Where it, like, I think it eats a bird or it shakes off its leaves, like stuff like that. And that is a really cool way to mark the passage of time. Also, Wolfler, I read the first Twilight novel, and do you know why? Because somebody gave it to me, and they said, "You like Anne Rice? This is just like Anne Rice." And they lied to me.
You poor soul. You poor soul. Poor Allie.
Anyway,
I did not read the books. I was dragged to the movie by a former roommate of mine, and I don't think our relationship was ever the same after she made me watch that fucking movie. It was also the worst experience because we were in the front row seat, which is the worst place to sit in a theater. And this is why we're not friends anymore.
That's how I saw Chicken Run, was like in the very, very front row.
It was horrible.
So it was like these weird stop motion chickens stomping on my head. It was weird. All right. So next we had difficulty comes in the design. You want the culture to stand out. It's easy to make everyone the same. Yes. Well, how do I put this?
Let me see. I'm trying to find that chat. Difficulty comes in designing what culture stand out. Yeah.
You want things to be diverse, I guess, at the risk of freaking saying the word diverse.
I know, but diverse in like the actual sense of the word, right?
Yeah.
In the not insane sense of the word. But yeah, there's a way of building a world, and you do want your world to be diverse in the way it used to mean. Not how it's used in 2023 in common parlance. But and that is a good thing because it's not done ideologically. If
that's a good thing. Diversity is a good thing. Oh, no.
I know, it's so painful because it's like, how do I say this without using their words? I hate it.
You can't, and that's why they do it.
It's so annoying. But for example, the story for Phoenix takes place on a whole ass continent. So like it would not be believable if everyone on the continent of Arvos had the same culture, the same types of clothes, and the same language even. So I have to create different types of cultures and different ways of living, and it all has to fit together. And a great starting point, I think, for most writers is using real world cultures as a base. And I do some of that, but I think when the point by which I personally knew that the story is ready, I think the world building is good enough, is when I felt like I didn't need to use the real world cultures. I understood the cultures in the context of my world. So, for example, Casimir is half Peroskin, half Valdan, and those are two different ethnicities in Arvos. Peroskins are the northerners. They're kind of like Russians. They ride bears and they have pet bears and shit. It's hilarious. It's like a Russian stereotype. And Valdans are kind of Nordic, but they're very much mountain people. They're like mountain Nordic people, not like seafaring Nordic people. And Iskal is more Valdan. They're cousins. Casimir and Iskal are cousins. And then towards the south, you have the Erisek, which is the only proper kingdom on Arvos. And they're sort of like a little Germanic, like South Germanic, like German Germanic, very orderly. Their lands are warmer, So their way of life is more structured and not sort of the Wild West, like up in the mountains and up in the north, where there's like small chieftains, but there isn't really any kingdoms where Casimir and Iskall are from. Then there's Drakia, which is way down south, and they're still Arvosan, but their culture is very different because they're a port culture and they're a mercantile society. So they don't have kings and queens, they have merchant princes and merchant princesses, and their whole structure, all their city-states are run by merchants' guilds because they're all about money and they sail and they make a lot of money through trade and all that stuff. And I kind of think about the geography that I designed for my world and make sure it ties into the culture. And then there's Lear. I'm looking at the map, but you guys can't even see it. You can go to the website. But there's Lear, which is kind of like this peninsula that's full of marshes. And because it's marshland, I was thinking that the cultures there wouldn't really be united because it would be hard to travel and connect with each other within a marshland. But at the same time, they would be easily insulated from other cultures. So they're very insular, and actually humans on Lear, this little peninsula, they're a whole different type of human. They're like, they swim better. They have like weird features that make them, I won't spoil it, but they're like kind of water humans, but they're still human, but they're water humans. And they're like a loosely organized confederation of city-states, and they're very xenophobic because they have their own little marshland and they don't like outsiders. So that's the kind of diversity that you actually want, not surface of a bullshit diversity, and it makes your world more believable and lived in. But at the same time, Arvos has a different general character than Discara, which is the southern continent, or Taya, which is the eastern continent. And that's sort of a cohesive packet that you have to form on your own with geography and culture and how you want your story to feel and theme all wrapped up together.
Yes. If you don't want to feel like it's too confining, that's the way to create the more expansive feeling. With the diverse perspectives and cultures, that's going to be really important.
You need a new word.
Yeah, the cultures will define, the experiences and how everyone moves throughout the world. So every location with its history and customs and all of that will contribute to your narrative. So if we get to talk about our books, how we have created diversity like you just did, I've got my humanoid people that are separated into basically light skin and dark skin, but I have fairies and that are kind of like water fairies, and then I have my goat people that I'm super proud of, that I love so much, even though they weren't really important when I first created them. I love them so much, I'm making them their own language too. And then, there's the people that exclusively live on my insanely salty ocean, and their experience is different, and how they have grown to live in that environment is different, where they harvest the opal and the salt that grows down there comes from the ocean. And like the goat people have a totally different separate culture too, where they just live in this huge like, what's the word I'm looking for, like the valley, and hop up and down the cliff sides like goats, but they're people. So some person says, what sort of cheeses are in your world? That is very important. The list of cheeses.
Your cliff goat people, by the way. I think that's such a great.
Do you? I'm really excited to have somebody draw them. I wasn't going to have them drawn, but I think I'm gonna have them drawn now. I was just gonna have all my main characters drawn, but I really want my goat people now.
You should, yeah.
I'm gonna, because I like them. They're cool. And then also, what I was gonna say is, on the subject of the goat people, there's also a way to add to like the world's depth by adding allusions to unexplored territories and hidden histories, because that will spark curiosity in your reader and in your characters. So if there's mystery and things to discover, that suggests that there's more to your world than initially meets the eye. You know, it creates dimension, you know, and interconnected stuff that you don't even know is out there. Even if it never comes to fruition and you don't like go into it, just the fact that like we don't know what's over there, you know, like, or people go in there and disappear, or even like we hid the treasure here, like, but we don't know if it's even still there. Just stuff like that. And old like pirate fiction is really good at that sort of thing. So that you can counteract the perception of limitation and just sort of inject your fictional universe with captivating vastness.
Captivating vastness. I like that phrasing. And yeah, you could also just, I'm going to phrase it as just creating a varied world. So I don't like trigger people and also myself, but that's just making a world believable, and again committing to your world building, and but it's not something to beat the reader over the head with. That's key, and that's the problem with a lot of works nowadays, where first of all, one of the main problems with the Rings of Power was, yeah, there was variety and diversity, but not in a way that made any fucking sense. It was like, the people from one locale don't all look like they're just from one place. That's how you would build a world that makes sense. Like A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones did that, where you had a whole world and you had a lot of different kinds of people, but every people that were from one place all looked a certain way, had one culture, and that made the world more believable. And it wasn't done because of quotas, and they didn't all look like they were picked off of a random sample size of the streets of LA. That's not how you create a believable world. There's a difference between creating variety and diversity for the sake of just presenting an agenda versus if you're putting immersion first and not sort of, if you're thinking about the reader's actual enjoyment and not just your ego and this makes my work look better and I'm so inclusive, all that shit. So obviously I don't think anyone here needs to be told that, but I think that's a point that needs to be made, because a lot of franchises out there and stories do that, and they don't understand that the point of having a varied world and building different cultures and different types of people is to make the world believable. But you can work against that if you don't do it in a logical way.
Yep. And somebody wanted to know how metal my goat people were. I can show you a thing that I made of one of the goat people right now.
Yeah, I think you're gonna show that model, right? The Hero Forge model.
Yeah, I use Hero Forge to make like easy models out of my characters for my artists. So yeah, that's what they look like. Cool. And these are not tattoos or birthmarks. They're actually like grooves in their actual skin that they can use as part of their language. So when they jump or dance or anything, or even just like move their arm as they're speaking their language, the wind makes like a sound in the groove in their arm or wherever, and that means something else. So literally no one can speak their language unless they are them, the Vakian. So
that's pretty awesome. Are there people that make instruments and musical instruments that come close though?
no.
Okay.
They can't it can't be done because it's too organic. All and they're all born differently, so they all have slightly different I don't want to say accents, but they have slightly different ways of speaking. So because they're all slightly different, they will sound a different way. It's basically just how, you know the difference between, I don't know, maybe not you don't, but like people would know the difference between your voice and my voice, even if they weren't looking at our faces. It's like that. We all have different vocal cords. It's kind of like that.
That makes sense.
If someone tried to make an instrument to do it, it would sound fake. It would sound like an AI voice. You know how you can tell and it's a little creepy? That's what it would sound like. It would probably freak them out quite a bit. They would not trust that at all.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
And part of that is because they're very cut off from the rest of the world. And they have these cool little like bat meerkats that make it easier for them to like send messages and retrieve things from the other side of the valley.
Cats. This is
and
Hero Forge.
They have, huh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh, somebody was asking how you made this. This is Hero Forge.
Oh yeah, on Hero Forge, and so they're all quite lithe, muscular but lithe, and then they have sort of like mossy colors on them as well because they have kind of evolved to blend in to the cliff sides. So it would kind of, if there's a lot of them out jumping around, it would kind of look like from the ground the cliffside is kind of like moving. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I really like this this species idea. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and they can use the tips of their tails as like when mountain climbers will, stab something into the top of a mountain, or not the top, but into the side of a mountain, they can use their tail like that.
Right. Cool. Grondo, what's up? Hello, Grondo. A couple people joining us. Runs with scissors. Sup? Yeah, that's awesome. I forgot what we were talking about. But did you want to get through more of that?
Diversity.
Oh my god. I hate how they co-op words like that and make it mean something else. Then it's like sitting here, I'm just talking about storytelling. We have to explain what we mean, right? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Bad writers have ruined American media and made it really difficult for everybody else. It's ridiculous. It's impossible. It's to the point where I think I absolutely believe that if there was, this is the saddest part, if there was something that was the next, I don't know, Odyssey of our ages, right? The next great works, it would not be published now because it just wouldn't, everything in the publishing sphere and in mainstream media works against real meritocracy. It's not even about if you just say the right things and have the right politics, and because if you do say all the right things, then it's almost, there's no way to really believe in this anti-meritocratic way of approaching things, but still do go. Does that make sense? I'm not making any sense, guys. I've had a bit to drink, but it pisses me off. I just think that if there really was a masterpiece from our generation, it would not get published because they just wouldn't want it. They would say this is like, it's not, they look for check boxes, and if it doesn't fit all the check boxes, and if you don't say the right things, and they don't want anything that's actually intelligent, and there's no, here's a good way to put it. There's no way to tell a good story without offending somebody, right? Because the only way to not offend anybody is to water it down and make things super basic, bitch. So the fact that they're only looking for things that are safe, that don't offend means we're not going to have any great works for like the next decade, unless it's in the indie scene.
I have something to say you're not gonna like.
Okay.
So if we went by the way that the Odyssey, since you specifically mentioned the Odyssey, was, you know, published or spread around, I think you know where I'm going. Okay. So it was just a series of you know, short poems basically that were, you know, just copied widely. Am I saying that word right? Widely,
yes. Drink more. Cheers.
Yeah, so they were copied and shared over and over again. So the Odyssey of our time would be probably in a series of very virally shared tweets.
Okay. You have a point. I could have used a better analogy, but I was trying to think of an old work that's held up as something that's really great. I should say Lord of the Rings because that's probably objectively better structured and thought out.
Yeah, but it was like one of the first times that we've referenced something that's not Lord of the Rings or whatever. And
yeah,
so I made it drunk already. I started drinking 2 hours ago. Fuck you. I'm drunk already. I've been drunk for an hour.
Look at how much eggnog I've drunk. I'm not drunk yet. What's wrong with me? Fuck.
I've drunk this much.
And I've been adding rum to I have a problem. But
this much, Rainy, look. That much.
Oh, you're adorable.
Yeah. Well, I drank.
Yes,
I drank 2. I think I only drank 2 of those beers that Vaughn or you or somebody brought
to Tampa. Those were good.
Shut up, Allie. Just shut the fuck up,
Beowulf. But I have I said Odyssey because I was reorganizing my bookshelf and I have a bunch of really pretty leather-bound or cloth-bound books of classics because I like leather-bound and cloth-bound books, and I was just looking at those earlier today. So there you go. But I also have Beowulf, so I should have mentioned that. The epics were lost to the sands of time before being recovered in a renaissance from antiquity. Yeah, isn't it sad thinking about all the works that were lost through time? I watch a lot of channels that talk about Rome and just like, oh, all this stuff that's all. Sorry, what did you say?
I said, yeah, so let's not talk about it. It's depressing.
Okay, all right, let's not talk about it. All right. I had a few star comments that I thought were great. What's often overlooked is that the struggles of a people, not people. Oh my god, of a people literally shapes the culture. That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah. Yeah, I love thinking about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I forgot. I follow a lot of anthropology channels, and it's part of like
Anthropology is awesome.
It is, though. It really is. Okay, here's another tip.
It's so great.
Yeah,
you really need to study anthropology if you want to write. Yes.
If you
learn
want
about
to
pygmies,
write, and especially build worlds, study anthropology, read anthropology books, or just watch YouTube videos if you're lazy like me. Because what's great is you learn not just about, well, this or that happened in this or that year of history, which is what happens when you read most history books, but you find out about differences in like the reason cultures are different. So for example, I was watching this video. So there's a channel that I'm going to shout out for like the 50th time because I actually really like the channel. It's called What If Alt Hist, as in what if alternate history, but it's abbreviated. And they're super based, first of all, but he kind of he mixes geopolitics and anthropology and makes a lot of really great videos. But one video I saw from his channel was on the different base ethnicities of the United States. So, for example, when the ways that immigrants came to the U.S. from different parts of Europe, but mostly from Europe, let's be real, where they settled and how that influences modern American culture. And there's all this stuff from like a bunch of people that I don't know, but it's like the Pennsylvania area was Quaker, so that still influences the culture nowadays. And New England was settled by certain types of people, and like that kind of what do you call it, the Puritans, or those types of settlers, Mayflower and all that shit. And that culture still influences that area to a certain extent, that work ethic and all that stuff and building. But then Appalachia was settled by, I think, Scots and Irish, and that culture influences Appalachia today. And the South was settled later by rich landowners, so also from England, but they were actually nobility, and they had a different approach to building their society than the Northerners. And that's why there's so much difference in the cultures across the US and all this other stuff. The Midwest was settled by different types of people as well, and it's absolutely fascinating. And one thing I really took away was it's kind of this sort of stuff that it's in the back of your mind, but you don't really think about it. So like highlands tend to build really tough people. So you think about the highlands of Afghanistan, and like the Middle East, there's actually a lot of mountains. It's desert, but there's actually a lot of mountains. It's really hilly, right? So you have a lot of really tough fighters. And think about what's that, like Nepalese fighter kind of ethnicity that they're like, there's a whole like British Royal Army Legion of them, and they're like the most badass fighters ever. They're like these tiny Nepalese men, and they're like absolutely murderous. It's amazing. Oh, I can't. My mind is blanking on them. But they're from
saying Gurkha.
Gurkha, yes, Gurkha or Kurkha. The Gurkhas are also from a highland area of, I think, like India or Nepal, and it's because their environment forges strength and encourages a culture of martial ability. And same with the Irish and the Scots, whole stereotype of, oh my gosh, they're like, Irish people like to fight, which they seem to like, they do, but it's because also the Scots is because of the Highlands, and you have this more insular culture that probably isn't as industrial as the lowlands, but they're really, really tough. And they brought that over to America through the Appalachians.
You called my ancestors industrial. What a bitch.
What? What? I said you're not industrial.
No, my ancestors were lowlanders.
Oh, okay. Wait, is that a bad thing?
I don't think industry is a good thing. The industrial age is one of the worst mistakes ever made in the history of humanity.
My gosh. Well, I didn't know that, and I didn't mean that as an insult.
How very dare you?
I'm the worst.
I'm speaking too slowly.
I'm speaking too quickly. People are telling me to breathe. I forget to breathe when I start talking sometimes, okay? It happens. But yeah, it's fascinating. I love that kind of stuff. And so speaking of world building, let me actually bring up my map so I don't just like ramble about shit you guys can't see.
I need to get my map done, because every time you bring up your map, I feel inadequate, because mine is still just my scribbles.
Oh. Well, you can get it.
Vaughn Gay Man said, "Good going, Irene. What next? You going to say vampires suck next to Allie's face?"
I thought that was actually Vaughn, and you were just calling him Vaughn Gay Man. Who the fuck? Oh my god! Who did?
No.
Oh, that was parody account. Oh, that's so funny.
Michael! Wait, no. Michael's saying my Tennessee mama. Dude, for real. We're from Tennessee too. Mama. Yes. Nobody ever knows what I'm talking about when I say my mama was crazy and deaf. But yeah, friggin' mama.
Mama? Is that local speak for grandma or something?
Yeah, that's my dad's mom. And then we've got grannies.
You want to know the Chinese terms for grandparents? My actually, Chinese is annoying because you call your paternal grandparents and your maternal grandparents, and family name designations are different depending on like maternal and paternal side. So you don't just say grandma. It's different depending on if it's mother's or father's side. Anyways, it's annoying, but that shows culture, because in the West, family relations aren't as important as a culture like Chinese culture that is very much all about the clan and family and filial piety, which means ancestor worship. So knowing your place in your family and knowing all your ancestors and obeying
your place,
your elders. It is, and which is why this is one of the things that annoy me about the culture. But worshiping your ancestors and obeying your elders is a huge part of the culture. So that really detailed naming system of you call like very specifically, my cousins that have the same last name as me are different named than the cousins that have a different last name from me, and it's different depending on like my mother's sister is a different name than my father's sister. All this stuff, it's the language exemplifying what's important in the culture. So you can think about stuff like that as well when you're writing. But yeah, it's maternal grandmother is papa, which I think is super cute. It's just papa. Yeah, maternal side is papa and gong gong, and then paternal side is nai nai and yeah yeah. But I never said that because my dad's side is American, so I never called them, by Chinese names. Yep.
Because they wouldn't know what you were saying.
They wouldn't.
Oh my god! Why'd you bring up your map? Was it just to torment me and make me feel inadequate?
No, why would I ever do that? I just wanted to show people what I was talking about before.
So no, somebody said you're ignoring a super chat.
Oh, okay, I'll go read it. My sincere apologies. I'm the worst. Oh, there's a couple. I was going to get back to them and then I forgot. Barb Rogers and Solar Terror for Canadian too. Thank you so much. Diversity is uniformity. Agree with us or else. Yep. Even though diversity should not be uniformity, but they change the meaning of words. So that's how they do it. They subvert everything. Mark Demuth for $4.99. Thank you so much. Is that correct? Fiendish 3 is going to be traditionally drawn. Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
What? By you?
Yeah, I draw comics.
Traditionally, on paper.
Yeah.
You're going to do it on paper with a pencil and everything.
Well, with a pen. I'm going to do digital pencils and then print them out and then ink them traditionally.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Aww.
I mean,
little Renie is all grown up.
I mean, it's not like it's some huge step where, like, going to school.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal because no offense, but I think almost anybody can do digital.
Okay. Well, I don't.
Okay.
No, it's because it's like I'm not using shortcuts when I'm drawing in Photoshop. I'm actually still drawing everything with my hand.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh. Well, like, whenever I see people doing draw streams and they're doing it digitally, they're always like, then I'm gonna do the copy and the paste and do the flippy floppies.
No, I mean I don't trace anything. Not even my own work. I draw everything from scratch. I don't even like use 3D poses or seldom reference photos. I should probably use more reference photos. If it's like really difficult anatomy, I would. But no, like when I draw digitally, I'm actually drawing. But
how would you use a reference photo? Would you search like Squishy Man?
No, it's kind of like sometimes it's. And, like, female artists have problems with this. At least I have issues with, like, certain muscle areas. It's still hard for me to draw, especially, like, back muscles. So I look up reference for that. But I'm getting better at it.
Barb Rogers gifted 5 memberships.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the 5 memberships. Barb Rogers and Solar Terror. Everybody go grab that right now. Thank you. Down below for 10 again. Thank you. Have you finished traditional page for Fiendish 3? No, I haven't. Here is okay. I'm just going to take the map down for now. Let me show you guys what I have. Guys, I've been really busy with other stuff. I picked up a bunch of other gigs, basically, okay? So, it's like, I have other shit to do. If I wish I could spend all day just drawing my comic, but that's actually not where my life is right now. And am I happy about it? No, the fuck I'm not. But
She's not.
I'm not. But hopefully I'll be able to get to that point soon. But right now, I don't get to spend all my time drawing comics, which is why the work is coming along slow. But, you know, what's important is I make the book good, and I'm going to take as much time as I need because it's going to be a big book, and I don't want to launch it until I'm at least like halfway done with it. So it's going to be a while, but it's going to be worth it because making it good is more important to me. Making it good and fulfilling it within a reasonable time after launch is more important than me rushing it right now. So I'm working on thumbnails. Like I said.
That is Renie's version of my note cards.
I guess so. I don't know. This is how I script. You know, I have like story notes. This is starting me brainstorming some character progression. I write down the dialogues, sometimes kind of truncated in the margins. Actually, look, here's a design for a character's bedroom because I was like, oh, I don't have a design. Let me just draw it real quick. Oh, no. That's what I do.
Chat, you don't even understand. Like, when she shows you this stuff on screen, you don't even understand until you see it in real life. And then you're like, you are a psycho, Renie.
Oh, look, world building notes. Actually, this is, I was reading this really cool book on medieval technology, more or less, kind of. Anyways, I don't want to go on about it, but it was a really cool book, and the book detailed how to make penicillin from scratch and how to test for blood type from scratch. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's useful for my world. Because I might have characters need to do that because I have some medical stuff in Fiendish. And then there's also stuff like, well, how to smoke meat and all the kind of stuff that, you know, me as a city girl wouldn't know. So this is my world building notes. Just like my inner cover, in case you guys haven't seen this. Here are some more world building notes. And yes, it's handwritten.
Whenever Renie publishes all of her insane notes, which she should, the only way for me to do something similar is if I like scanned in like 5,000 note cards and just like sold that. And it would make no sense.
Well, I mean, you could type up your note cards so it would make more sense. So look, I'm designing. Oh, check it out. So I designed different architecture types of architecture for different parts. So this is the first page of this sketchbook. But this is kind of more Valden building, and this is also Valden, so it's kind of like a little more Nordic in case you can't tell, but I kind of made it more angular and stacked it because I wanted to look fancy and cool. This is Poroskan building. So Poroskans are the Northerners. They're like the fantasy Russians that ride bears in my world, and they're like tough tundra people, so they build these stocky ass like bare log buildings in the snow. So this is like their architectural style. And down in the south, in the marshlands, they kind of have this loopy, light, almost what you would think of as classically a little elven architecture, except it's not as airy. It's just more thin, and you have these like rounded roofs and stuff. And this is Valden again. And here's this citadel that we're going to see later on in the story. But anyways,
we did a whole stream on architecture too, you guys, for the world building. We did that. It was like our second or third one. Also, Curious asked, do you use a magnifying glass to write that? No, she's a secret dork because she has glasses.
It's not a secret. I wear glasses, guys. It's not right now. I'm wearing contacts right now. Here's some more designs. I draw really small. I don't know. I think everybody thinks this sketchbook looks crazy, but I just draw really small. That's all. And here are my thumbnails. So I'm still working through thumbnails. I don't have any pages done yet. I'm getting all the thumbnails done, and then I'll start on the pencils. It's gonna be a while. I'm sorry to keep you all waiting, but you know, I might put out a art book, like a Fiendish art book or a world building book, or I'm also trying to work on a game. So if chapter 3 takes too long, I might like have an art book or something in the meantime, because I wanted to put an art book out anyway. So I have so much fucking material for the world building and for the comics, so I can definitely collect it. If you guys want it, let me know. If you guys think you just want the comics, I don't know. Anyways, it's something that I can put out there if people are interested in. But yeah.
Will you look at the private chat quick, please?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Quality always better than quantity. Yeah, good thing, Gopher, that the quality of her Bible there is fucking top notch. I've looked at it. I've touched it. She let me touch its pages. She allowed me to caress them. The tome, if you will.
Wait, hold on. I just want to show people this actual
thing. Did you
thing.
just kick me?
No, I just full screen me. You're still here.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'm just showing people the sketchbook. So here's the actual book. It is kind of a tome. It's gigantic. I made it myself, by the way. So I found like this cover stock and like got these rings and picked out a specific type of paper that I like to sketch on and got it bound and everything. And like
it's really, really nice to touch. It's nice.
Yeah, I like sealed it with acrylic paint. It's got this like texture. But anyways, yeah, I made this and it's gigantic. There you go. I replied to your private chat, Ali. I said, just let me know.
Okay. Carbon Heart said, "Does this Avril Lavigne chick make comics too?" Which one of us is the Avril Lavigne chick?
Yeah, I don't think either of us look like Avril Lavigne. We both make comics. Ali's a writer. I'm a
yeah. I write comics, but I'm. Don't tell anyone. Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
I drop things sometimes.
Oh my god.
Just not the way that you guys can. What is it? Neither look Canadian, says Solo, but Carbon Heart says clearly me. I'm clearly the Avril Lavigne. Okay. Well, Carbon, what I have to say to that is, why do you gotta go and make things so complicated?
Oh my god. Why does that look like Avril? She's not even blonde, and she doesn't sound like autotune. Okay. Let me return to. Did you want to go through more of the
wait? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else, and it makes me frustrated. But life's like this. Fall, and you crawl, and you break, and you take what you get. And you turn it into honesty. Renie, promise me.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna find you faking.
Okay. I promise. No. I promise.
So why?
Oh my goodness, Drunk Alley is amazing. Wow. I didn't even witness it in Tampa. God damn.
This isn't even half a beer.
It's half a beer. It's less than half a beer. Oh my god, you guys. Okay. All right. John Monkey, thank you for joining us. Everybody hit like if you find us entertaining and find our drunken shenanigans great.
Oh no. Anthony, why? So you see Anthony in there being Dark Gift?
Where? Oh, Dark Gift. Hi, what's up, Anthony? Ali, the video's done. Check it out when you're done with the stream. Oh.
He talked me into singing a Christmas song.
Oh my gosh, why would you do that? This is a Sophia and Avril show. Gopher wants us to drink more. I think Ali would be on the ground if she drinks more. Ali is like a happy drunk though, which is great. This is adorable.
So Anthony made me sing a stupid Christmas song. And so I did it. And then he was like, you have to do a video. And so I did a stupid video. And that's why I look like this. That's why I look like Avril Lavigne. I don't think he knows what Avril Lavigne is.
You look much better than Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne is like Gopher.
Some person said Ali has discovered drunk wisdom. No, I was just saying her fucking lyrics. It's not even that. 100 proof vodka. I would die.
She probably would. This is half a beer, guys. This is half a beer. I just want to reiterate what's happening right now. I guess we're not going to finish this Twitter thread. All right, I'm going to take this down.
We'll finish it another time. So many people responded. You know what, you guys? I'm really glad so many of you responded. It was super awesome of you guys to do that. I love that you feel like you can talk to us. That's pretty great. You know?
It is. It is.
I mean, she draws comics and I write books. Can I make it any more obvious?
Okay, I feel like it's time. It's time to go, guys. Somebody wants me to finish the nog. I still haven't even finished my mug of nog, and I'm like not drunk. What is wrong with me?
Carbon Heart says, "Oh right, I've seen Egg Beater." No, it's not Egg Beaters. He has only one beater.
It's Egg Beater.
Dude, did I show you this? Did I show you this?
I saw it.
I paid $70 for this.
Yay!
For this 45 record. I paid $70.
Ooh, did I tell you? Allie, you're not gonna remember if I tell you now, probably, but
I'll remember.
Okay, very committed.
I'm serious.
I'm getting custom music made for Fiendish.
You did tell me that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yay. It's gonna be so cool. Yeah, it's a really good composer that I know through some other gigs I've done, and I'm excited. Oh my god! I storyboarded out the trailer for chapter 3, and I did that super early, even though it's gonna be forever before I can launch. But I want him to start working on the music first. But yeah, and I'm thinking of getting some animation and voice acting in. I have to figure out who to do the voice acting, but it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. I've been wanting custom music forever. In case you guys didn't know, I make some music as well, but I suck at it. I've been told it's decent music, but I'm not like a real musician is what I mean. If you go on my channel, I have some, they're just sample bash songs. Like, it's not actually me playing instruments. I just bash samples, and it's okay. But, you know, I really do want to have custom music. So, yeah. Yay!
Renie calls up her chat. They already know. And they've all got, damn it.
Oh my god!
They've all got memberships to see Renie's show. Ali tags along, stands in the crowd. I don't know.
Did I storm a trailer?
Renie, you're getting a live action Weird Ali Laudervic right now.
I am. Laudervic? Your name isn't Laudervic.
I know.
Okay. Oh my god!
I know.
I storyboard all my trailers that go so well.
No. Hold on. You know who Weird Al is?
No.
Okay. Weird Al Yankovic. He makes parody songs. So when I am being stupid and I make a stupid parody song like what I have just done, I say Weird Ali Laudervic because my last name is Lauderdale. Ali.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense.
It's secretly brilliant because it's a parody of a parody maker. Brilliant. Oh, look what my hat can do.
Wait, mine can too.
It can stand straight up.
We're retards. Look!
It's our dunce caps.
Okay, it's time to stream. Okay, Dark Gift says what's all the music? I asked for something that's basically like Ward Runa and Nightwish had a baby, and I don't know if that's possible, but that's all I listen to when I draw Fiendish. So I'm sure my composer can do it. I love Ward Runa, guys. I think I mentioned this before. Master Lions gifted. Oh, became a YouTube member, not gifted a member. Became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Von Gaiman says he wants a membership. I'm sure somebody gifted memberships early in the stream. You might still be able to get them. So you can go check that.
Look what Mortal V said. Look what Mortal V said. Look.
Let me read the super chat first. Barb Rogers, Miss Solitaire, member for 2 months. Thank you for the member chat. Ali is a Freemason. I don't know.
I can be. My family have all been Freemasons for generations. Sometime I'll pull it down. Freaking, I have a box of Freemason stuff that I'm not supposed to talk about.
Remind me to not get on your bad side. Gifted memberships are randomized. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't like ever use that stuff. Well, fuck that then. I got that wrong. But thank you for everybody who has become a member.
Did you see what Mortal V said?
No. I suppose when you're more drunk, that can happen.
No.
Huh?
Different one.
You need to fight with the top of your dunce heads. This'll wrap up the stream, okay? Shall we do that? This can happen. I hope
let's get our hats hard on.
We have 90 people here watching us act like drunken idiots. All right, cool.
Choo. You gotta do it on the screen. Choo.
Meow. I can't even. Oh, it is actually staying straight. I can't tell because I have to like duck under the camera. Beep. Beep.
Beep.
Okay.
I'm gonna go fucking die now.
Let's end. Okay, this is over. Okay. Guys.
Everybody go check out me singing on Anthony's channel. Everybody go check out Renie's friggin' website that I am super envious of. Go check out my website that is not very good.
Would you like help with your website, Ali? You know you can just...
I really would. I tried to copy yours and then I was like, this is hard.
I can help you.
It's bad.
I will help you.
Also, should I... Oh, it's not going to stay. I was going to say, should I save this and finish it next time? But it won't stay. That's not how carbonation works.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I gotta go. Everyone. You guys are all awesome. Thank you, chat. This is why I don't drink.
No, but this is really entertaining. Everybody, please give me a like and a subscribe to make this worth it. And also, please back both of our books. Everyone, you go to fiendishcomic.com where you can find this beautiful map that I'm super duper proud of, and an awesome website with a bunch of other cool stuff on there.
Go sub to my channel because I do things too. On my channel.
Sub to Ali's channel, Ali Sanguis. I have a link in the description to a playlist of all the other Ali and Renie shows, and also Ali's channel should be linked there. And one last shout out before we go.
We go back and forth. So the next one, theoretically, unless something happens, will be on January 6th. So maybe we'll do a New Year stream and I'll drink again. I probably won't, but maybe.
Sounds good.
Oh, you gotta read your super chats.
Yep, I'm working on it. Thank you for the reminder.
Why are you taking so long, Brady?
Oh yeah, I'm the worst. Oh my god. Rebecca,
I know.
I don't hate
How about
you.
I never mind.
Okay, down goes solo for $10. Thank you so much. Stick around, make Ali finish that one beer. I think she would be in the hospital if I did that, so I'm not gonna do that to her. But what I am going to do, yeah,
have this
let's
much
not
of
do
it
that
left.
to Ali. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Suta. Thank you so much.
It's all going down the sink.
Yeah. No, my gosh. Well, we appreciate you making the effort. One more shout out before we go. Fiendish Chapter 2.5 Survivor. That is at 26,000, just exceed 26,000. It is the highest funded comic on Fund My Comic, and it is also mirrored on the fiendishcomic.com website. This is the first standalone one-shot to the Fiendish series. We follow my main character, Casimir, as he struggles to survive and find purpose after the destruction of his hometown, and we meet a bunch of other characters that you see from the main books. I'm really proud of this short story. It's 25 pages. All the art is done. We're just getting it colored. It's drawn by Michael Rushbrook, as it's being colored by Jake Harold, also known as Hyper Wizard. It's coming along absolutely beautifully. So thank you everybody who has already backed this book. And if you haven't yet, check it out. I'm sure you're going to really love it. And it will certainly tide you over until chapter 3 is done and is ready to launch. So there you go. Please take a look. And thank you all so much for joining us today for this absolute chaotic, awesome mess of a stream that honestly was tons of fun. And I'm so glad
for
we
this
did
stream that makes everyone know why I never fucking drink, but I will drink for my girl.
I'm so honored that you're willing to drink for my stream. It makes me feel all special and fuzzy inside. It's almost like we're friends.
We are. We're more than friends. We're twinsies.
Oh, I'm twinsies. What is this girl? Chat's gonna throw up.
Girls. We're girls. Ooh. Ew, girls on the internet doing things. Blah.
Well, yeah. We are sometimes on the internet, believe it or not.
Wait, Henry, I don't have an I love you stage of drunkenness. I will never fucking say that ever. I'm not the like, oh my god, I love you, bitch. You're so sexy. Like, it's so hot. I just fucking love you. Like, that's on me. No.
Yeah.
No, that will never be me. That's gross.
No.
Yeah,
no ass kissing. I don't want ass kissing either. Ali doesn't kiss ass, but that's why we're friends, because good friends tell you like it is. That's how it is. Oh, hey, hello.
Anthony's like, did they just Valley Girl out? No, we're just girls. You guys are so perpetually online that you don't even understand how chicks work when we're friends. This is friendship, you freaking weirdos.
It's true. I think some people, the internet has broken modern culture. Like, there are people that just can't believe that, well, women can't be friends, and some women aren't just insane attention whores, and maybe we're here to make comics, or, you know, you can just be friends without anything weird happening. Strange, but hey, it happens, guys, and that's what's happening. That's what we are. Don't let the internet break your brain.
Yeah,
here are my thoughts. There you go. All right, cool.
As the kids say, touch grass.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what the kids say.
That is that what the
Good night, everyone.
Good night. See you all in 2 weeks, and see you at the Red Valkyrie auction that I should have shouted out earlier on the 13th. But I'll shout it out again. And see you guys next time. Bye. Merry Christmas.